morning, Judge Owens and County Commissioners. My name is Sandra Fuentes, and I'm here as a co-chair of the Census 2020, the Complete Count Committee. I'm one of two chairpersons. We were hit the ground running in our efforts to, in our plans to get people to fill out the census, and then COVID-19 hit. So we had to reorganize. And so I'm just going to read what we've been doing. The local Census Complete Count Committee has been consistent with educating our communities about the importance and benefits of the 2020 census may bring to Del Rio and Verde County, and how each committee member can help achieve an accurate account of our populations. We are 2 weeks away from the deadline. Now, keep in mind that they moved that. The deadline was October 31st, and they pushed it back to September 30th. We continue to spread out the word through radio daily commercials and weekly interviews, newspaper articles, social media campaign, Facebook, and local digital signs. The business community has been really, really helpful in putting the messages on their digital signs. Now, the numbers that we got, I think yesterday, the day before, is that the City of Del Rio, we are at self-response. Self-response means those people that have completed the census through telephone, online, or mailed it in. Our percentage in the City of Del Rio is 60.4. In U.S. is 65.9, and in Texas is 61.5. So we're right behind where the state of Texas is at. Verde County is at 53.6. Texas is 61.5, and U.S. is 65.9. If we were to compare with our sister, the city down the road, Eagle Pass, is at, the city of Eagle Pass is 60.3. We are at 60.4 in Del Rio. Verde County, 53.6. Maverick County, 52.6. It is crunch time. We are 2 weeks away from deadline. As you well know, the census, it means a lot of money for our community. It can mean a lot of money for our community, money that certainly the county needs. I'm here also to ask you, please, if you haven't already done it, the county commissioners or county officials, please put out some kind of messages, do a FaceTime. We'll be happy to provide you with a script. I want to thank Commissioner Flores. We've already made arrangements for him to pass out flyers, and they're passing out flyers today, aren't they, Commissioner Flores?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, as they're giving the food distribution, and they're telling people to fill out the census. We also have Laredo send an enumerator down to talk to the people that are in line this morning, to ask them if they haven't filled out the census, that they can help them with that. So I just want to encourage you, it's crunch time, 2 weeks, it's not too late, fourth quarter, 10 seconds, and we need to get this done, all right?
Ms. Fuentes,
Yes, sir.
where do they go? Online? Can you, where would they go?
Census2020.gov. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. For every person on the census, how much money does that mean to Val Verde County?
We don't know that. We don't know that. The
I know
only thing I
going
can
through
tell
New
you,
Mexico, they say there's huge billboards saying for every person counted, it's an additional
so much.
40,000.
I don't have that figure, but I can tell you this, that when the city of Del Rio got the CARES money because of COVID-19, it was based on what our census number were 10 years ago. And that figure came out to $55 for every citizen in the city of Del Rio.
Can we get the figure of how much money it means to Val Verde?
How about a whole bunch? We don't know. We don't know how much because it all is contingent upon what other communities' numbers are going to be.
And depending on what we're applying for.
Exactly, all of that. It has a lot of factors in there.
Do we have a program, guys, at the community center where people can come in and we can assist them to fill it out?
Yeah, sure.
We do?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
To translate, we'll do whatever we need to do to help them
We
out.
have
Now-
computers
Your
online.
computers, everything.
And just to let you know, these numbers that I just gave you, these are for, like I said, self-responders. That does not include the people that are going to be counted with the enumerators, the people that are going door to door right now. We won't know those numbers until after September 30th. The U.S. government won't tally our numbers until January. Okay? Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Going to item 6, budget workshop. Carl? I'm sorry about that.
No.
Carl, are you here for? That way you don't have to stay for all the meeting. Which ones are you here for? For contact? You don't mind? That way he doesn't have to be here.
Star number 24.
24? Okay, well, let's do that. We're gonna go to item 24, approving the flood infrastructure fund prioritization list from the Texas Water Development Board and approve Verde County intent to apply.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion, Commissioner Nelson, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote.
Thank you for calling Verde County Commissioners Court Conference Bridge. Please enter your PIN number followed by the pound sign.
Did you see I changed my voice there?
Please record your name after the tone. Press pound when you are finished. Thank you.
Approving? You do?
Is now joining the conference.
What are we applying, how much are we applying for, Carl?
Let's go to item 25. Approving Texas Cdbg contract number 7218026, 12-month extension request.
Did we vote on this one?
Sir,
Did we vote on?
we voted on 24.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
If I could just want to make a comment on.
Of course.
You may recall that the county submitted a pre-app to Texas Water Development Board to do one of the elements was to request funds to replace the communication tower up there at Pandale. And so the application has been, the pre-apps have been submitted. Texas Water Development Board has ranked those applications. There was 265 applications statewide. Verde County ranked 65th.
Wow.
And so they're way into in a good position. The pre-app was for $500,000 to do a flood early warning system to kind of be incorporated into all that. And like I said, one of the main elements was to address the communication tower there at Pandale. Right now, the ranking, Verde County is eligible for 58% of that amount grant, which would be $290,000 in grant money. The rest could either be satisfied with local funds, or you could request the remaining amount at a 0% interest loan for 30 years. It would go into effect 18 months after the construction. So the board of directors at the Texas Water Development Board are meeting tomorrow to approve the intended use plan and the prioritization ranking. And within the next couple of days after that, there'll be an intent to apply sent out to all these applicants that are in the ranking to see if they still want to submit a full-blown application by October 19th. So the intent to apply will be forwarded to the county and to submit that back by September 30th. If you don't submit that, well then you're out of the running. So right now, Verde County is, like I said, they're in a good position, but that intent to apply will have to be submitted by September 30th, and then a full-blown application will be coming back to the court with some more documentation between now and October 19th.
Perfect.
Okay. Item 25, approving Texas Cdbg contract number 7218026, 12-month extension request, new end date November 29th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor?
I have a question. Carl, on this one, there's 3 different water projects involved on item 25. On the extension, request
Ridge Line Water Line Project only?
only, okay.
Yes, sir.
Good, thank you. Okay. Item 26, approving Texas Cdbg contract number 7218075, 12-month extension request from UN date October 20th, 2021.
Move.
Second. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores.
Did we get the issue with the city resolved on connection? So we can move forward with it?
We need to go back at it.
It's still pending.
That's how come we're asking for extensions. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Approving Texas CDBG contract number 7216075, updated project completion report.
Move.
Second. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor, do you have anything on that? You got it. We're good?
We're good.
All those in favor? All right, 5-0 vote.
You just take a minute to sign those.
Yes, sir. Was that all that you had? We're gonna go back, then item number 6, budget workshop. Commissioners?
The only thing that I had was, and I guess we're still reviewing it, was the ability to move juvenile detention center underneath the Commissioner's Court. But I guess we're still reviewing that.
Judge, can we talk about the food distribution on this one?
Yeah, does anybody have anything else?
Judge,
Yes.
could I ask Commissioner Nelson to get closer to the mic? I can't hear him very well.
Now can you hear?
Well, I know, but you usually speak louder.
Oh, well,
I got masked and everything.
I was using a new deal, walk softly and carry a big stick.
Okay, what we'll do, when we go on the other 2 items, and we'll have the hearing at 10, but, the item number 7 and 6 will set, or, I put my glasses on. 7 and 8. Well, on items, when we go to look at the vote on the, on the budget, we'll go ahead and set a date. And we'll go ahead and put a budget workshop on for the 30th in case we want to bring that back, make sure what we're doing. Food distribution, I think, I'm sorry, if we had, see if maybe we might need more people or what y'all are gonna do. Do we need to do anything in the budget for this? I mean, what did y'all come up with?
Commissioner Vasquez and I spoke about food distribution. And we came to a conclusion of a centralized location would be the community center. And all I asked was, if we could promote one of the ladies to a full-time position and 2 part-timers. And this means that I would have my road and bridge crew, helping with each, food distribution. And if the commissioner were willing to send maybe 1 or 2 of their people to help, that'd be great. And to help out with bringing the loads of food from Austin and Laredo.
Could you do with 2 part-timers versus a full-timer?
Yes, sir.
When we say centralized, what is the plan?
Just 1 location, 1 food distribution. And
So we're not gonna be doing it in every precinct?
No.
Only because, and I was talking to Commissioner Warnock, for example, what we would like, basically, most of the food be going through your community center. Now, again, I've got a lot of people. That doesn't mean we'd be doing it once, really often, but I'd like to at least, when there's loads available out of Laredo, which there are, we don't want to leave precinct 1 or precinct 2's people out of the food distribution, just in case. We got a lot of people that don't even have a card.
Yeah, no, I
And there's
understand.
some cards, especially in precinct 1 for Mr. Martin.
Being centralized, I mean, it's open to everybody. I mean, everybody can go, everybody's welcome. Nobody's gonna be turned down or anything like that, but it's up to y'all, I mean, whatever y'all want to do.
Let's get through one thing first. Do y'all need to add 2 part-timers? You have a motion for that.
Well, I'm not prepared to add until we have a plan. We don't have a plan. We're gonna wind up right back where we started from. My ideal plan is we have a central location that all food goes to. And then we have staff that can manage that in a format so that when each person registers and gets a card, so if Commissioner Vasquez wants to do something in his precinct, he goes to the central place, he picks it up. The computer systems work, so when the people come through in his precinct, they swipe their card, they can't go somewhere else. Same thing in precinct 1, 2, 3, and 4, but everything gets centralized in one location. You don't have walk-in freezers. You need walk-in freezers to store this stuff. I mean, we had meat the other day sitting in trailers that the reapers aren't going to hold. You need the ability of somebody to manage the system countywide. They can set it up where people can't go to each precinct and do it and get food. You're allowed one location, you get it from there, you don't get to go to the next one and the next one and the next one. You know, there has to be.
So the first thing to do would be to mandate cards.
Yes, you're gonna mandate cards, you're gonna have to upgrade the community center to have walk-in coolers and stuff like that where we can load that food, have a warehouse big enough to handle it, and then you're gonna have somebody to manage this program. Somebody's gotta manage it. That's just all there is to it. I mean, we as individuals don't have time to manage it. So if you decide you want to do something in your precinct, Commissioner, you can call the person that's managing and say, I want to set up a food distribution. They get the food together. Then you go by, pick it up, and you go deliver it wherever, but you have the card system and you have a way that people can pick it up and all that kind of stuff. That is my idea of what we need to do.
That's a great idea. I agree with you, Commissioner, on that. Right now, I mean, we're taking, baby steps to get somewhere where we can, better control the distribution. And there's not all that double dipping and stuff like that going on.
I totally agree with you, but I'm going to tell you all right now, the only way this is going to work is it has to be under the control of Commissioner's Court. It can't be under the control of any one person, and that manager has to be under control of the court. Otherwise, this is going to be a train wreck. Well, that's just my opinion of how it needs to be set up, and we're going to have to make the investment. If we're going to get in the business of feeding everybody in Del Rio, then you're going to have to make the investment. You're going to have to get walk-in coolers. We can't have chicken sitting in a trailer for 2 days. You know, that's not going to work. You're going to have to set it up where we have the ability that all food goes to that central distribution, and that person managing it has the ability to work with each commissioner to get food out to where it needs to go. Yes, the commissioner is going to have to send their road crew to pick it up and do it, but we have a managed centralized system. If we're going to do that, that's a system that I'll support.
If the court, the commissioners agree, I mean, we could put it on a trial basis and just have one location for distribution. And if not, I guess we just have to go back to what we're doing. I mean, you know,
I don't think you have to have a single source where you go pick it up. You have to have a single source where everything is centralized and then distributed out from there. I mean, if my people from Comstock are not going to drive all the way into the community center.
They will, not all of them, but they will.
We're still going to have to deliver there. Commissioner Waterlaw's got areas over there in Audio that people are not going to be able to drive. Commissioner Vasquez has those.
We get people from all the precincts, and I'm pretty sure they get people from our, you know, precinct 4 and
does.
They go. I mean, they have that need, but we need to do something. I mean, if not, I mean, that's fine. I mean,
So, after this short conversation, my suggestion is now maybe we're going in the right direction, Judge and Commissioners. Let's just talk about it a little bit more, a week or so, and so we can come up with a plan for the next Commissioners Court meeting. I mean, that's my suggestion.
we've just been postponing it, and you know, to me, it really don't matter whichever way y'all want to do it or take it. But we just need to finalize this because, if not, a lot of people don't have their ID cards from the food bank that'll identify them as a participant to the food distribution. We're taking ID cards, we're taking, driver license, passports. I mean, you know, as long as they live here in Verde County, and, it's just out of control.
No, because people are going to each individual precinct picking up food on the same day or the next day, and it can't be that way. That's not what the thing's about. It's about helping. It's about helping, but it's not about being able to go to each one and pick up food from the same one, so you get 3 or 4 different pickups. It's about being able to help the people once a month or whatever that decision is. But I mean, can you price out a walk-in cooler? Thank you.
I'll just, go down what time we want to do.
Commissioner, what we've been doing is using those freezer reefers. That's just like a walk-in cooler. It's movable.
I understand, but the other day, we needed the reefer for something else, and it was full of food, and, you know,
We need more reefers. That's a lot cheaper than a walk-in cooler, plus you can put it where you want to, any time of day. That's been working excellent for us.
Is it gonna freeze it?
Yeah, it's frozen.
You'll keep it frozen.
Trailer in the,
Say that again?
It'll keep it frozen.
Yes, sir. 30 degrees.
Well, whichever is cheaper, I mean, it doesn't matter.
That's the
But the
cheapest
other day,
way.
we ran into an issue, it was full of food, somebody else needed it, we weren't able to use it, you know, it's one of those situations.
We need another reefer or two.
if, get a price on a walk-in cooler, and then also bring us back a price on a trailer. Like they said, the trailer, if we need to move it from one spot to another spot, we have that capability.
Is this trailer the same as the reefer trailer?
Yeah. But just something that would make sure that we'll get down into the 30s.
Yes, sir.
That'll work. On budget, anybody else have anything on budget? The sheet that, Matt, that you handed out, just for clarification, possible moves, bottom line is, we had put this on and we'd already talked about it, but the only thing that we moved forward would be the pretrial, the 120 and the 380 from EMD, right? Correct. Everything else we did not.
Everything else was a pass.
So, for next, what we'll do is, on the 30th, I'll put another deal on budget workshop, put another item. But if you could get us a copy of the budget, the way it stands when we leave here, the way it sits, the whole budget, not just the sheet. But if you get everyone a copy the week before.
Okay.
At least the week before, that way we can review it, and that way if we have questions on it, we can bring it up on the 30th.
Okay.
Will that be okay with that?
Well, what did we decide on the other stuff? The capital, we were gonna look at,
On capital.
we were gonna look at the others we needed,
On capital outlay, we left a lot of the stuff the way it was, and the 234 was in there. One of the things that was enterprise. And I think we were getting numbers on it. The numbers that we brought back, we were waiting, and I don't know whether we got them. Well, let's go back with it. On Monday, what I did not see, we had not seen the numbers, but the numbers they said was gonna be high in order to outfit the cars. So the question was asked, could we, not do as many cars at the beginning, but do lesser cars at the beginning, and then more cars at the end? That way the payment wouldn't be as much, because the outfit of the vehicles was what was gonna cost us, but I did not see a number on that, on what it was gonna cost to outfit. And we were waiting on a question on how those numbers were gonna work.
With the current outfits that were on there, it came in around 280 figure.
To what?
80. Now, those were probably over outfitted. I'm talking with the sheriff. Some of those that the transport bureaus may have been over outfitted. We did get accurate numbers from the sheriff last night. It was forwarded on to Enterprise, so they can rerun
So
the
we don't
analysis.
have numbers on that.
No, we don't, but we've got 240 figure stands or 235 or whatever it was.
that's total.
Total, correct.
For how many vehicles?
That was gonna be 15.
15 on the first year?
15 first year, 15 second year, and then it went, seven, right. And then that's how it went. But I'm pretty confident that we can get the outfit within that 240 figure.
But we've not seen the numbers
Yeah,
yet.
that's what we need.
Yeah.
You send it to Enterprise, they'll get it figured out and get it back to us.
Correct.
And we can wait on that, I guess, until the next
meeting.
to approve the.
The other deal, and it's be up to the court, in building maintenance, we bought trucks for them 2 years ago. Some of these vehicles that they've had there that they still have, I mean, hell, they're 20 years old, 30 years old. His budget, they've done, just like everybody else, they've done a really good job with their budget. And he didn't go out and just try to spend the money just because it was there. So if we were to do a capital purchase for at least one vehicle for him, I think it would be a good idea.
A capital purchase, or you want to work that into the enterprise? Because the white fleet is really where your savings is. The outfits is what's eating it up, because the outfits, we are not able to purchase those at a discount. And rotating the inventory out on the 4 or 5 year basis, you're able to receive that 20% discount, but you're still able to sell at the retail rate when you're selling, and that's where the value is created. And the only reason it works is because we are able to get the government discount. That's it. And that's plain and simple. That doesn't work with the outfits. The outfits we're going to have to eat. We're looking at putting 50% down on the outfits, worked into the lease, because they're assuming a 50% resale value on the outfits. And unfortunately, that works like a regular lease, like if you or I were to buy one. We have to purchase it, the going rate, and sell at whatever that rate is. And the outfits on the sheriff. Yeah. Now, the outfits for the white fleet or parks or something like that, whatever adjustment, that's not really considered an outfit. That's just considered an addition.
The only thing with that is that we'd have to rotate his vehicle every, we're going to continue to have that payment, or continue to have that lease.
You would, but is he always going to need a vehicle?
Oh, I understand that, but at some point we
I would like to, let's see how the deal works for the sheriff.
Okay.
And get through that.
Okay.
And see how this works for a few years, or some time frame, and then we can start looking at the white fleet. But in the meantime, we do need to get him a vehicle.
Another vehicle.
So, and you said he had saved up some money, or?
Well, his deal is that, you know, he's been trying real hard. I mean, he's been doing all the work for us, but usually we want to spend the money on whatever's there. So, I mean,
Does he have the money to buy a truck?
He has enough money to buy a truck, but we buy it, I mean, we just roll over whatever, our fund balance would be whatever his is, and we buy one next year. Would that be easier?
Yeah, it's about 14.5. Is that enough?
Do what?
There's 14.5 in his capital. Is that enough?
No, we're talking about operating.
Okay. Is that right?
He has 14.5 in his capital, which will roll over, and then we'll need to fund the difference. I don't know what those trucks, yeah, but what did those trucks cost last time?
I think they're about 36, 38. Yeah. Already, and those are buying gasoline engines, 3/4 ton
with the boxes and all that.
In the other items on the agenda, on this budget right here, there's plenty. But we didn't get it in the agenda today to transfer.
But we could go ahead and make that purchase in this year's budget, because you can buy it through, buy board or somebody like that, right?
Yes.
So we could get that purchase done before the end of September. You can encumber the money and get, I mean, you may not get the truck delivered, but you can get the purchase done.
Yeah, if I can, the only thing I would like to look at is if we can get the one, like the outfit that we need to by board.
And we did the last time.
I thought I did it out.
No, we bought it out, but by board. They were still on the list. Let's put it like that.
In his budget, he's got over 100,000 in operating.
No, he's not, he spent a little bit since then. I think there's like 80 left.
Well, this is 9/16/20. So.
I mean, the whole thing is though that, can y'all, like Commissioner Nettleson, can we go ahead and get that truck taken care of before September 30th? Not actually have the truck here, but do the paperwork and encumber it and get that done.
If we buy it through a co-op, it'll be faster.
Okay, so we'll know for sure by the end of the month whether it can be done. Okay, so I guess the directive from the court would be to go ahead and try to get it done. If we can't, bring it back to the court so we can set something up for the next fiscal year. Will that work?
Yeah, that's gonna be it'd be no problem just to appropriate more funds there in this budget.
Well, that's
a real simple way to do it. It's just to appropriate the funds that he's gonna need October 1.
So would that be your recommendation?
That's what I would do. Instead of trying to rush out.
Put money in there to, what are we buying, one or two?
One truck.
One truck. He's got 14,000 that's gonna roll.
Yes, we can hear you.
I cannot hear you. It's like you lost sound or something.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hello?
Juanita, can you hear me? Raise your hand if you can hear me, Juanita. Nope. Okay. I didn't touch nothing. They don't let me touch nothing.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appropriate on capital and parks a
40,000
for a truck replacement.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Jenny, they're trying to fix it.
Good, I got you back.
Did you hear it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I guess they didn't like the way I looked at it.
Just change your damn picture,
Was there any motion made?
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, there was a motion to set aside $40,000 in capital for next year's budget for a truck for building maintenance. And it passed, Commissioner Nettleton made the motion, Commissioner Vasquez second, and it was passed by 5-0 votes.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the other things I was talking about was the other ones we were gonna look into, the dozers for the fire, the Odyssey, I don't remember what those others. I think we finally got a number on Odyssey, it was $1.3 something million.
That is a 3-year, yeah, that's the total cost.
And that was
correct.
That was the total cost of Odyssey, plus it was also the cost to run it per year.
Correct.
Right?
Over 3 years.
Over 3 years. And we had talked about setting aside, probably $500,000, in this coming fiscal year. Is that about right?
I thought it was 4. I thought it was 400,000.
Well, 400, we're cutting it close. 500, if we set aside 500, then we're gonna cover it, and we don't have to worry about trying to budget the rest of the year more money.
Can we set it aside, but I don't necessarily know that I want to spend $1.3 million right now.
Okay.
Can we set aside $500,000?
So you want, instead of, this budget has 400 set aside, you want to set aside 500? Okay.
But I don't want anything spent until we make a decision, because I'm not 100% comfortable with this yet.
Let's go ahead and, set aside the $500,000.
Did you see?
Pretty much.
Okay. At least you didn't thought that.
And then we had priced out some dozers and fire trucks and stuff like that. I guess we're gonna look at tax.
The fire truck, we'd already set money aside for that one fire truck. It was done in this budget. All right.
Now, the fire truck that we've been looking at, Commissioner,
what we did is, we set aside $125,000 already in this budget. There was a $75,000 check that we're supposed to be receiving, and the guy said he'd bring us a check, so that would be $200,000. The truck that both of y'all sent pictures on was right at $200,000.
Okay.
So that should be enough to cover it. Is that right? And both of y'all sent pictures and looked at a truck.
And then we had priced out some dozers for firefighting, and they were 300 and...
No, I think it was like 228,000.
For the bigger one, with everything? I thought it was 328 or 330, I don't know. Okay. That'd be 2 of those, which is probably gonna be about 750,000, but we could include that in we're doing a tax note, right?
Yes.
For the Frontera?
For Frontera, 1.7, and we're at 1.7 with Frontera, all by itself.
We were gonna wait on that till later in the year?
Yes. That we were ready.
We probably would need the appointment prior.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an issue. So that we would have we'd be paying interest on money that's just sitting there until month 7.
No, and that's what I was saying, I mean, we would do the tax note during the year, and because we didn't want to have to pay interest on the money.
No, but if we go ahead and decide to move forward with the equipment, we're probably not gonna do the tax note until June, July.
Okay. The equipment, could we pay for it and reimburse ourselves?
You have a 60-day time frame, I believe, on that. So that would make it month.
You'd have to pass an intent to reimburse
Like we've done in the past.
and then you could reimburse for those costs.
So you could do that month 5 or 4, depending on if it's 60 or 90 days.
Depending on how long we want to wait.
I've got a question on the dozers, or those new, dozers, or they're used?
No, they're brand new.
At 228?
I think they're 3 something.
But why buy them new? I mean, why not buy some used ones? You know, instead of buying two, buy four of them.
Well, one of the deals that we were looking at too on the new ones was that they have all the right equipment that, like what the Forest Service has. We'd be ordering exactly what they have.
They're gonna have the cages built on them, they're gonna have the fire retardant systems put in on
You
them.
have to buy low boy trailers and trucks to move them.
We already have all that. We already have that.
We priced that bulldozer, I think, through, Sourcewell. So we got the Sourcewell government pricing with that as well.
And then they said we could visit with them about a leasing deal through CAT or whoever on that. And you could possibly do a lease and then pay off the lease early.
My reason for the question that is that those dozers will be parked there most of the year. I mean, if we get 2-3 fires a year, yeah, that's when you're gonna move them. But that's a lot of money just for two dozers to use them once in a while.
How many dozers do you need? I guess we can start there. So we only need 2, why do we buy 4?
There's still gonna be,
That's what I say, you know, dozers that are 2-3 years old, we can get 2 for
Right.
$228.
And that's a great thought, and then, but you're gonna be paying retail for that. There's no discount buying those. On the new, you would, and in the first year buying new, it sucks, it is what it is. But that second year, when you're replacing it,
They
you're getting,
depreciate. If we ever put them on a surplus list, within 5-10 years, I mean, we're not gonna get, not even half of what we paid for them.
Let's do this. I need a motion if we wanna buy 2 dozers with all equipment, and then we're gonna go.
I make a motion that we buy 2 dozers rigged out for fighting fires.
I'll second that, Judge.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against?
I'll abstain on that.
okay,
It's 4, 0, and 1 abstention.
okay.
So we're gonna buy 2
Cash
dozers.
deal, finance deal, how are we, what's the cash outflow on this?
Matt, what would it cost, like in March, do a 5% raise for the employees?
In March, that's March over there, I mean, just roughly ballparking it.
Ballpark?
I don't know, 275 and a half.
3% is about 400,000.
But you can't include elected officials. on
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna back out a lot.
Right, so you're gonna back out that, I don't know what you guys want to do with part-time, then you're gonna cut that in half, so that's gonna be your number.
Good question, so we get it on our mind and be thinking about it.
About 5%.
5? You said 5 or 3?
I said 5.
Oh, 5. I didn't do calculation on 5, but just quick math on that, 10 million would be 500, you'd have to back out the elected officials, so south of 250. Right?
We'll run some numbers between now and March and look at it, but I would be more inclined that if we decide to do pay raises next year, that we're gonna do a step program that you give a higher percentage on the bottom, a little less in the middle, and a little less on the top end. So like either a 5, 3, or 4, or something like that.
And that's what this court did the last time. I think anything under 35,000 was like a 5% or 4%. I don't know where it started. Then from there to 50 was the next step of 3 or 4%, and then everything above that was like a 2%.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to.
And then we've done that, and then we also have done for just a flat $1,000 across the board. So I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but the court is always sort of taking care of the individuals that were.
And I think we have some time to put together some different proposals and look at them after the first of the year. Once we get through this end of the year, figure out what the feds are gonna do with COVID relief and get some ideas about what kind of money we're looking at.
Matt, the dozers, going back to the dozers, we're end up buying 2 new ones. I guess the court needs to decide how soon do y'all wanna do this. If y'all wanna do it soon, then that'll determine on how we're gonna finance it.
It takes, I don't remember what he told me on the time to build these machines. They're not like something you just buy. You have to have them built.
I would say, it takes about 90 days.
90 to 120 days to get them built.
Take special glass where the glass doesn't break out like it did on
Those
us.
machines are designed to do exactly what it is. They have cages built around them. They have fire suppression. Like the other day, one of our track loaders, they were in there pushing. The fire came up around it, blew all the glass out of it. You know, when we start talking about buying stuff to do this kind of stuff, we've got to look at the safety of our employees too, that are going to be running this thing.
Okay. Now-
financing.
Yeah, if that is worked into the note, and the note hits in July, and we can reimburse ourselves the 60, or we have to check into the 90, then that would be no cash outflow this year on that payment.
Okay, so we're looking, say, 90 days to do it, so we're gonna probably somewhere in say, just January. Tractor gets here in January. We pay for it, then we go out for a tax note, so we'd end up with some money sitting in the bank with nothing to do for 6 months.
Yeah, he'd have to check on the reimbursement, how long we have to reimburse it.
We can check on the reimbursements, and then we'll look at, I assume when you order, there's going to be some sort of deposit, but the deposit is not a claim, and then eventually it'd be 90 days after we got that, that would be the actual claim would come in. So then we can use that for the 60 or 90 days.
Can you check on their financing system, what they have on there, to see what they have available versus what we would be paying on a tax note?
Yeah, the tax note, 2 1/4. That would say more or less.
You're asking me for,
Yes. I think
well, how many years? We don't even know how many years you guys.
7 years tax note.
7 years.
You guys want to go 7?
You're
For
gonna have
Frontier?
to.
Okay.
There's about 2 1/4, 2 1/2, or something like that.
On this budget, one of the other, no, okay. Before I just keep on thinking, we got dozers. We order them in October. That'll be, we'll order them next fiscal year. Order them in October, and then we'll get a time frame as to when they're gonna come in. And, and then you're gonna ask the question on their type of financing and see if it's better than what we can get. And then we'll make that decision between October and January as to how we're gonna do that.
We need to set, well, we already had money set aside for the payment and tax note.
We have.
It was taken out.
The money to make the payment, but we wouldn't be making the payment for the following fiscal year anyway. Right?
Correct.
So
we didn't have, all right.
Mhm. The other deal is.
Can you get us those numbers on the financing through them before our next meeting, just in case?
Yeah.
The other thing that we're looking at, when we bought SE Ranch, we ended up splitting it because one of them, we're gonna try to do a solar farm and try to do all kinds of things with it. We didn't get any response, and the reason I'm bringing this up is we might be able to save a little bit of money in redoing that.
We need to refinance it.
Refinance it, and it was taxable, non-taxable, and I think, man, we'd already sort of worked that out. So
There should be quite a bit of savings there if we can
Well,
go
we're paying for
non-taxable.
something, interest, and
We're paying like,
2 1/4.
yeah, we were paying like less than a point the first couple of years, and then it went up to,
No, that one was the big one. That one was the one that we got out of Verde.
yeah.
Yeah, the small loan for 1 point something, it's at a 4% rate.
Yeah.
So we can knock it down to 2 1/4. And there's no fee for paying it off. And that money is our, bottom line is it's already in there, so that might be a savings if we do that, that might be a savings. You're making faces.
No, it's good at this. I'm listening.
There would be a savings, on what the notes are that might help pay.
And then it would free up our ability to utilize that property for things that we want to utilize it for.
And that's another thing, one of the deals that we need to come up with some type of plan. We know that we're gonna need a judicial center over here, on Broadway and Main. That facility, we're waiting on insurance to figure out what the heck they're gonna do with the roof. The problem is now that building has it's not a historical site, it has a historical easement. So now we're even waiting to figure out, okay, what type of roof are you gonna put down? Or whether, it just becomes a mess, so.
Why can't we go back to the feds and have them remove that, because they put it in their deed document, the historical part.
Yeah, they said they would, okay, but at the
How
some
about we
point,
just give it back to them?
well, at some point, we're gonna need a judicial center.
Yes.
So I think we need to start thinking about this, is that 2024, we have some payments that come due. Odyssey, if we go to do Odyssey, it'll come off. And then, at some point, we still need to look at a shooting range for 4-H, skeet shooting range that can also be used to bring people in to raise funds. And at some point, this is all gonna be over. So, we've still been talking about a sports complex out there. So, I think we're in good shape. We just need to make sure that we don't just jump off the deep end and end up with some long-term debt, even though Matt says that land is going to be there forever, so if you stretch it out over long-term, it doesn't matter, but that scares me. But you said it.
It's all philosophy.
That works in the private world because it has a value. In the public world, it has no value. The land has no value in the public. It's not like you can turn it, it's not like you can do anything with it. It's not like an investment in the private world. The land is the land that you can only utilize for certain things. And, I mean, it's not like, in the private world, I can go out and buy a piece of property, invest in it 10 years, sit on it, turn around, sell it, and double my money. Yeah, that's not going to work in the public world.
Right. But what you're doing is you're reducing your M&O services, you're reducing everything that you're doing so that you're paying this land off quickly. If you stretch it out, then you have more money to operate on an asset that is going to remain on on an asset that's going to remain on your books in perpetuity.
And what?
We'll agree to disagree because all buildings and land in government has increased the cost for maintenance and operation. The long-term effect, the initial investment is cheap on the front end. The long-term effect to maintain and operate it is expensive on the back end.
Right, but it's land. We're not doing anything to maintain it.
Okay.
All right.
You're always going to do something.
Okay. Are we good with anything else on the budget? Took care of dozers. We'll do the tax note on Frontera. Is there anything else?
We never discussed the cash outflow on the fire trucks, but I guess we'll work on that and we'll bring it back on the 30th.
Cash out.
The cash outflow and how we're going to structure for the payment of fire trucks.
The payment of the fire truck?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we set aside $125,000.
Okay, I'm sorry, on these new trucks that we're discussing.
These are dozers.
Sorry about that.
Well, you need to get the numbers back. Yeah, we can have that discussion on the 30th.
Okay.
Can we still make adjustments on the 30th?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna put it in, I'll put in, again, the budget workshop.
No, what I meant the 10 days. Do we have to redo 10 days?
No,
we're good.
No, you can make
We're
adjustment.
good.
I'll just reprint it, but I'll use someone else's printer because my page count's getting high.
Besides those,
We just gave you an
Relax.
extra $2,000 or $3,000, But yeah, if we can get the numbers for the next meeting, and then we can make a decision about where we're gonna plug in the payment.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna do it in a text note, then you're not gonna necessarily have a payment.
Bo, what size dozers do you want?
These are D6s. Well, it's the old D6, it's the new D5. They changed the numbering system on it.
The Caterpillar.
Are we good with the budget? Everybody good?
Yeah, I mean, that's guys are rocking and rolling.
And you were gonna try to get some answers on us on the juvenile deal.
Yeah, we can try. I don't know.
We can look it up.
We'll look at it. Can we get a copy of their audit?
Absolutely, when it's out. However you can have.
Can I get a copy of the last?
Absolutely. I will forward it over.
Okay.
All right.
Are we good? Item number 9, approving subdivision plats. The other two will have to wait till 10. Item number 9, approving subdivision plats. Carlos?
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioner. I have none.
Okay. Approving certificates of compliance?
None.
Okay. Approving monthly reports from elected officials?
Move.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Approving bills?
Move.
Second. Third.
24.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor? Did you have something there?
No, I thought we were. I'm sorry about that.
Are you good?
Yeah, I am good.
Okay. Item 13, Emily's on camera. Utilizing Verde Fairgrounds for family-friendly drive-in movie night to celebrate National 4-H October 9th, 2020. Emily?
Good
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. I'm speaking today on behalf of the 4-H kiddos. They would like to request permission in honor of National 4-H Week. They have planned a COVID-friendly National 4-H Week, which would include several things, but one thing they'd like to do is host a drive-in movie, and they feel like the best place to do that is at the fairgrounds, and would wonder if that would be something that the Commissioner Court would, if the court would support that, and allow them to move forward with those plans.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
They supported it.
Thank you. They always do. I so appreciate them. And you.
That was late.
I do appreciate y'all coming to the Cdbg meeting yesterday. I do really appreciate y'all being here.
All right. Item 14, report item on the status. That's sort of different there. Report item on the status of emergency services for Colonial program. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Excellent, thanks for having me. We just started distributing funds yesterday, so I have finally some data to let y'all take a look at. No overhead today.
All right, you can't have everything.
Can't have everything. We were delayed by about a week by the state. They had some additional language they wanted me to insert into purchasing gift cards. Whether it's because of the specific language or not, I'm not exactly sure, but Walmart declined to participate in the program. So Walmart pulled out gift cards for them, and that was unfortunately a pretty popular choice of folks. But HEB did not decline. HEB had no problem with the legal language, so we forged right ahead with HEB gift cards.
What was the change in the legal language?
They just wanted me to insert some language with the ability of the county to terminate the contract if they did not deliver the product as said. It was standard federal language that the feds require to be in subcontracts.
Wow.
Basically, Walmart's response was not specific to that language. It was, to paraphrase, they didn't want to get entangled in any government stuff that would come back to haunt them later.
They do that all the time.
They put it in writing, not exactly those words, but that's what I took from it. I went to the state, I asked them if they wanted to intervene, and the state said, well, this is fairly conclusive, they don't want to play, they don't want to play.
Okay.
So, I don't know, I haven't tried to reach out again to local businesses, if there's any carnicerias or any local grocery stores that are primarily grocery, that anyone else would like to participate in. Staff did call, and business owners were not terribly interested. Some of them didn't think it was real.
Would it be a benefit maybe to contact the banks and check and see if they would do the gift card for you in order so then to go buy wherever they want to go buy? Or how does that work?
So the state wanted the food to be for groceries.
So
and the closest approximation they could come to that was grocery store gift cards.
Okay. No. That'll work. They just didn't want them buying everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But we were able to help 17 families yesterday. We handed out gift cards and got documentation on bills that I'll try to pay today as soon as I leave here for 17 families. We had one we couldn't get to yesterday. We've got another 24 that are just missing one or two documents like a pay stub or a bank statement, something like that should be ready to receive funding next week. We received 99 applications in total, which is a little bit short of what I expected to receive. And probably the biggest disappointment is the 36 that you see indicated here on fixed income. Those are folks that are low income, Social Security, but they weren't able to demonstrate any direct financial impact from COVID. And the original guidance from the state was, if on the application you were able to point to a lost job, furlough, lost hours, or other, and you self-certified, you were eligible. And so I, through Commissioner's Court, devised a plan of scoring that you were able to prove it up and show that you indeed lost your job or lost hours, you'd get extra points to move to the top of the list. The state came out with extra guidance after we had already passed that and said that if you choose other, and applicant chooses other, that they have to prove it up. That it won't be good enough to just be poor at the time of COVID. The general inflation or rise in cost of groceries or cost of medications was not good enough. They said that they'd be willing to consider it later if we tried to fund everybody that had a direct COVID impact first and we had a bunch of people left over. They would be willing to consider an amendment and then help those folks. So we are focusing on folks that were directly financially impacted. There is one policy option that y'all may want to consider. I don't know because how I worded the agenda item if you were able to take any action today or if I have to come back or not. But you could increase the award to $2,000. Right now, it's set at $1,200. And that would assure that some of the families that did receive benefits can get even more.
How do we extend the period of time for them to apply? Let more people apply, I mean, I think it'd be better.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't know about this.
We can keep going. The contract between the state and the county, I believe, it lasts for at least a year, sir.
Yeah, okay.
And the program was designed to collapse to bigger and bigger geographical areas as it goes on. For the first month, it was just the 5 colonias in our self-centered contract. Starting today, it's any colonia. I believe there's 17 or 18 colonias in the county. But just the state recognized colonias. There's some colonias that people think are colonias that aren't on the state list of M&Os.
Okay, so real quick, we'll leave it at the 1,200? Everybody okay with that?
1,200? I'll make a motion.
One thought before you do, if I may real quick. The state makes no promises, they never do, but on 2 separate occasions, they told me that if we spend our money, they'll give us more. So just throw that out there.
So there's no limit on that?
There's a state imposed limit of $2,000 per household.
No, total, overall.
No, not in terms of what they would give to the county. So just a thought for you, sir. I mean, it could result in more money to the county. It matters not to me how y'all want to do it.
I'm not sure the way this is worded, we can vote on that. Because it says report item.
And that's fine, I can come back. I didn't have the data fully until yesterday.
I mean, I'm fine with it, but I don't know.
How is this advertised to the colonials? How does this word get out?
Yes, sir. It was in the newspaper a couple different times. We put it on the radio ad, I believe the Rancho Spanish language ads on public services that are fairly popular. We passed out pamphlets as far as in your precinct where unfortunately we have no funded applicants. I'll need to go through the pile.
Is now joining the conference.
I'll need to go through the pile to see if we have any unfunded applicants from your precinct. But we went out and put up flyers in Rise Estates area.
Okay.
That's what we did for them.
That's what I was noticing. There
Yes,
isn't
sir.
anybody from.
Yeah, we did manage to even get 2 from Comstock.
Yeah, I noticed you.
A bit of a coup for us. We did go out to Comstock. We held a meeting. No one showed up, but we at least made a presence and put flyers. And we got results somehow. I think primarily thanks to your foreman. He did spread the word out there.
So what are the
It doesn't take
extra,
long out there.
what are the additional colonias you're gonna add to this?
There's a list of 17. I can pull up on my phone and read them from you. But one in your precinct I really like to target is Rio Bravo. It's a little more than a trailer park right there. I mean, the Qualia, I believe, is still outside of city limits.
Mr. Brown, excuse me, sorry, I had a couple of people, one in Tierra Blanca, one in, Almas, right, they called me and I believe they had gone to your office if they were not qualified. So maybe,
That was exactly it. Yeah, it was the first month is just the 5 colonias. And the state has a map of each colonia. And if they're outside of that boundary, then we can't help them.
So you're gonna open them up?
Yes, sir.
So all 17?
All 17. But people like in Tierra Blanca, that's not a colonia. So, but the following month, and starting October the 15th, we have to set in the policies to be the entire county.
Could you give each commissioner a list of what the colonias are?
Absolutely.
That way maybe they can go ahead and help target some of these individuals.
I will tell you that the list is at least 15 years old, and that there have been some recent additions of some of the Rise Estates ones. Escondido are some of the newest additions. I've asked the state for a complete list over and over again. They've never given me one. Since the Secretary of State collapsed their colonies program, there's been very little upkeep of lists.
Well, nothing else, if you'll get the list of what you actually have right now, and have them, they start working on it before we just keep opening it up and opening it up. Let's try to target
All right. Yes, sir.
people in the colony. Very good, sir. And if you'll bring back, for next meeting, if we want to go to the 1,200 or go to the 2,000, and we'll take an actual vote on that. But for right now, leave it at 12.
Thank you, sir.
Is that it?
That's it.
Is now joining the
Unless there are any
conference.
questions.
Okay, gentlemen, this is Robert Cadena with the 83rd District Court. I don't know how y'all are on my bridge phone, but somehow y'all are on my court bridge phone. And I didn't want to hear y'all's conversation. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. Let me.
Yeah, I don't know how y'all got on my bridge phone, but I got a court proceeding starting here at 10 o'clock.
We'll take it off.
Yeah, I don't wanna.
Oh, come on, Judge, you don't want to listen to it?
I don't want to get into something I don't want to hear.
Okay.
And I don't know how y'all got on it. I understand it's supposed to be the bridge phone, but.
No, we'll take care of it. Thanks, Judge.
Okay, all right, y'all take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
It was on the edge, but it was on the call.
That's good. I was wondering how come he's on, I thought he just wanted to visit. He did not want to visit. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 15, seeking formal approval of Verde County Commissioners Court of a resolution approving an agreement between Del Rio Economic Development Corporation, DREDC, the City of Del Rio, and O&M Halliard Inc. The city, the EDC, gave this company $408,000, and what they're asking is just that we agree, that the court agrees with them giving them the $408,000. This company is actually located outside the city limits, and they're gonna do mask. I would need approval.
Motion to approve.
Judge.
Second. And authorize the judge to sign.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
All right.
5-0 vote. It's 10 o'clock. We're gonna go ahead and go to the public hearing and see if anybody wants to say anything. Thank you. Anybody have anything about the public hearing? That was quick. We're gonna close the public hearing. Good deal. Item 16, accepting the donation from Stella Wardlaw Alcock in the amount of $1,000 for the Verde County Fire Department revenue.
Second.
Is that you, guys?
Yes.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Item 17, renewing existing agreement between Verde County and Madison, Government Affairs covering the period October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
They are gonna come at some point and give us a.
That's what Tom is working on. It's a 4-1 vote against it. Item 18, auditor's report.
Move.
Second. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. Do you have anything?
We don't, if there's any questions on the budget report or the Verde report that came out?
Okay, good.
No questions?
All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Budget adjustments, and we'll go A, B, C, and D, one by one. A, building maintenance utilities, $2,597.11 from available appropriations. Can we take it out of another building maintenance account? That we want to be taken out of contingency?
I mean, if he's sitting there with $100,000.
Yeah, that takes us down to D. Building maintenance, 6,000, from fuel to equipment maintenance. Equipment maintenance is 36,400 right now. Is there a reason we're adding 10,000 to it with 2 weeks to go in the budget process?
No.
You put this on here, I don't know.
No, I didn't. It falls, budget adjustments should fall under here, but I did not put it on there.
He was moving 6,600 from fuel to equipment maintenance because he was trying to move money around for this truck or whatever. He was trying to, he outsmarted himself.
Okay, so how about we just take that 25 from the 66? How about that? Building maintenance.
That
Since
works.
that is
Fuel
not
and
needed.
equipment maintenance was all under one line item.
No, it's not.
No, not in
there? It's not all just operating?
No. So you want to take the 25 from the 66? We'll take care of A and D?
Yeah, and utilities is gonna keep coming. We're still facilitating August invoices and
But he's sitting there with $100,000 or $80,000 or whatever he's got in operating. There should be more than enough to cover.
yeah, that was Commissioner Wardlaw's statement, not mine. But if that's what he says, I will go.
He said he's got about 80,000.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, no,
Okay, but for now,
But I mean, it needs to be taken within the budget, within that.
Yeah, so you want to take the 25 from the fuel? So they have money there. Where do you want to take it from? The 2,500, you need to take it, you take it from the fuel or take it from somewhere?
we can take it from the fuel since the 66 is apparently not needed.
No.
Okay, then motion to approve 25,957.11 out of fuel.
I'll second that.
Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? 5-0 vote. And then D, we won't need. Item B, other to hospital, $1,980 from available appropriations.
This is for what?
These were for autopsies. So there's 32 in contingency, so we just take from contingency to 1980.
This is from the JPs? Don't they have travel and training left we can take?
Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want. If that's what you choose to do, we still got, there's 2 weeks left, we still got money contingency. We're gonna need money for utilities, as you said, you can take it out of there. We're gonna need money for probably, attorneys, as those will come in over the next 2 months. But it's up to you, wherever you wanna take it. I'm sorry? Wherever you wanna take it. Just
No,
let me
you
know.
said the next 2 months. Attorney.
Yeah, over the next 2 months, they're gonna be turning vouchers that are dated from prior year. We wanna put the year that the resource was expended into the current calendar year, not the current, but into the year that they were expended.
Can we take it out of contingency and then you bring us back how much money's left in travel and training, move it into contingency if we need it, and we go and take that?
Yeah.
How's that work?
Sure. Yes.
Because we don't have a dollar amount on what's left.
Of what's left in the JP's travel and training?
Motion to approve out of contingency.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? 5-0 vote. Item C, non-department insurance, $16,469.41 from available
Did
appropriation.
we just not budget enough for this, or what?
Yeah, we don't. This is,
Did we get it in this one, a number?
we did increase it. We're expecting higher TWC costs in this budget, so we did increase it a little bit. But
Why?
why are we expecting higher TWC costs?
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay, great. All right.
That's another 2-hour conversation.
Yeah. I remember. Motion to approve out of contingency.
Has, SE Ranch been covered with liability insurance?
I do not know. That would be risk management.
I can
That's a
ask.
good question, in case somebody goes out there and hurts themselves.
Yep.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Do I have a second? Second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Carlos. Carlos. Commissioner Wardlaw, just wanted to know if the property out there, the 2,500 acres, is covered with liability insurance. Could we make sure that we look into that?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, where we at?
E, let's go with E.
E. Precinct 4, $6,500 from travel budget to operating. Move. Have a motion, Commissioner Flores.
I'll second it, because we let everybody else do it. I don't agree with it.
Second, Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Treasurer's report. He's coming. He's running. Maybe not running, but he's coming.
A little faster than normal?
Yeah.
This one does need approval.
Motion to approve.
Second. I have a second. I have a first. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. And it looks like we got a pretty lucky one now. So far? So far.
We got 2 more weeks.
That's all good. I mean, but when you look at the other departments, I mean, everybody's doing good, right? I mean, we're not,
Other departments as far as?
well, every department, I mean, we're just not out blowing money, is what I guess.
With the exception of a couple.
Sure. No, it's pretty solid.
We have a healthy fund balance.
It is absolutely healthy fund balance. You guys are definitely going in the right direction. I mean, everything is really clicking. And there's even some ghost revenue that, we are unable to even estimate right now. So it is a very good position to be in.
Ghost revenues, I call haunting money.
It's called, we can't get a figure to put on it. So, we're not gonna put it in there if we can't even conservatively estimate the value. So, right?
My deal is
That
we're
would
all
be
good.
approved. Correct.
We have a healthy fund balance.
We have a healthy fund balance. We're starting to pay for assets as we're using them instead of all up front, which reduces your maintenance, your services that you're able to provide on a yearly basis. So we're not spending all the money on capital up front and then deferring those services until we can afford them.
Okay. Anybody have any question on the? No? We're good? I'm sorry. Item 20. I looked at page 2 soon. And it's like, okay, I'm lost. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but. Item 21, discussing matters relating to COVID. I was looking at the numbers this morning. The charts and everything say about, 2,000 I wrote it down, around 2,070, 2,000. And people are asking, you know, it looks like it's slowing down. It's not slowing down. I mean, you have really good days where you have, I mean, we've even had some days where you had one or two, but then you went back up to the 40s and the 30s and the 40s and even a 50 count day. We do have some individuals that have tested positive at a couple of schools, but the traces are on those, and they're working on them, making sure that you know, they find a stopping point. You know, how far out. The school did have, I think, of everybody they tested that one Friday, I think they had one person, or yeah, I think one person come back positive out of everybody that they tested, which was great. One of the things that yesterday I was asked on the school district, and I'm not picking on them, but I was asked yesterday, how are they going to start? You know, and the school board decided to do a percentage, and I guess the unit or the team there is sort of gearing up for that. Is how's that going to affect us? On Monday, I think yesterday talking to Dr. Rios, they had 4,500 kids that had opted to go to school. So in my conversation yesterday with Dr. Rios, they're going to have 25% of those 4,500 go back to school on Monday. And then every week they'll have another 25% go back to school. The tracers, like I said, and the unit, Dr. Gutierrez, Dr. Laura, and Roland, and Sheedy, and then Martin, and Amanda, and the rest of the tracers, I mean, that's one of the things they're sort of gearing up for. We did have a good little test on one of the other schools that had a positive, and it was, you know, this is what we're thinking on, the protocol needs to be, and then we had the positive amongst the kid, and they put all those into play. So, you know, are we prepared for it? I think we're as prepared as we're ever going to be. But it's like everything else. I mean, the school board, I mean, you know, I was looking at them when they were on their meeting and some of the comments. They are doing, in my opinion, the best job that they can be doing. I mean, you know, it isn't just them. They have to listen to the state. They have everybody else pulling them in different ways that they have to meet certain thresholds. And, you know, it wasn't, a lot of the people were favorable. They had some people that their comments, I believe, were unwarranted. And then, you know, to throw rocks at the teachers, that they get paid during the summer for doing nothing. I'm going to go ahead and call bullshit on that one, because my daughter is a teacher and we have friends that are teachers. They get paid because their salaries split out over 12 months. It isn't because they get to not go to work during the summer and get paid. That's just false. There was a couple of comments like that.
A lot of those teachers, they work all summer.
Mm-hmm.
Judge, you said one of the other schools, what is that, one of the private schools?
Yes, sir, one of the other schools, we had a positive case, and I will tell you that the school worked well. They did everything they had to do to minimize contact and to get that stopped and have a stopping point. And the trackers and the tracers, and like I say, in this unit, the health authority unit, I mean, they're doing their job. I mean, it's impressive. You know, the numbers, are they going up? Yeah, we're over 2,000. And, you know, we're going to start sending out, so just to give the school and the city a heads up, we're going to start sending out our bills with the interlocals that they sent to try to recoup some of those funds that we spent on tracers and stuff like that. The school did help us set up a building, 2 buildings for these individuals, which that helped. But it's going to help us. I know that we had encumbered, you know, $300,000-$400,000 what we had encumbered in labor, so we're going to be able to reduce that number, and that'll help us on that $724,000 that we received. You know, it's one of those deals. It's here. It's the same stuff. I quit doing the videos because it was just sort of, you know, do people just want to keep hearing bad? I mean, you know, at some point, you know, get a little bit of relief. But I will tell you that the unit is working really, really, really well together. Laughlin is reporting their cases and doing, I think it's Dr. Chang. I hope I didn't mess that one up. From the base, she's reporting the cases, and they're working well together as far as quarantine, getting releases. The hospital also set up an individual there to help doing the releases. When the team was first brought on, the majority of them that the county hired, we went from like 132 people released to over 700 released. I mean, the sheriff's still, and we're still out serving papers. They're doing it if they can online. If they can't, then they're physically going and trying to keep these people home. You look around our community, I think that, people are still taking it serious. You have Home Depot, you have, I shouldn't start naming them, you have Home Depot, McCoy's, TJ Moore. That's usually where I visit during the afternoons, and then the restaurants. They're all doing a really good job. I think there's 2 restaurants here in town that need to be visited a little bit more often, and that's going to happen. But the majority of them are, they're masking up. They're trying to keep everybody separated and keep everybody safe. So, any questions?
The only thing I got is on the school. I watched the school board meeting, and I think the school board has a tough decision, and I think they've done a phenomenal job, and I agree with you, Judge. Some of the comments that I read on that was inexcusable. And some of the pressure that the state and the feds are putting on these school districts to try to push them in directions that they shouldn't be. These need to be decisions that are made locally, not in Austin or some other place. The one thing that really upset me in that meeting was a comment that the TDA would pull a teacher's certificate if they decided to sit out because they were afraid of COVID. That is the most dictatorship system I've ever seen in my life. These teachers are scared to death. These students are scared to death. And for the state of Texas to have the audacity to do something like that is completely and utterly inexcusable. These teachers have dedicated their whole lives and their whole careers, and that is just unbelievable that our state would even go down that road, but apparently they did. So I commend the school district on what they're doing, and I pray to God that our teachers and our staff and our students are safe as we go through this process.
Any other comments? Y'all good? Okay. Yeah, pretty sad.
Yeah. No, it's inexcusable. State should be owned.
Item 22, adopting county budget. We're not going to do this, but I do need a date. If y'all will give me, we'll set a date.
To adopt a motion to set the date, what is it?
It's the 30th?
September 30th.
Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. We don't need any action on that, on number 23. We've already done 24, 25, 26, and 27, so we'll move down to 28, approving proposed business relief grant application and appointing committee members to review and approve applications for funding.
Y'all have we got together with myself, Elizabeth, Commissioner Flores, and Matt, and came up with a simple one-page application setup for people to apply for business relief with, and I guess we got the stipulations in here, Matt, on what we were going to do for the amount. I'm sorry.
The amount?
Yeah.
The amount should be on there, the second box. Yes.
Yeah, we would have a funds between 500 and 700, 7,500, plus a 100% reimbursement up to 1,000 for PPE purchase between March and July. This would include businesses that were affected by the closure of the governor's or local orders or the closure of Lake Amistad in round 1. Then if we don't still have money left over, we'll open it to more type businesses. I would like for us to create the committee that we currently have to review these applications and approve them for funding, if that is okay with the court, which would consist of Matt, Commissioner Flores, myself, and Elizabeth.
That's a motion?
Yeah, that is a motion. They would come in, and then, we would review them. We'll probably meet like every Friday or Thursday, review the applications, and then approve.
Second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. The motion was to have the committee of,
It'll be Matt,
Gus,
yeah.
Commissioner Nettleton, and Elizabeth. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. And the totals again, for what?
The funding will be from 500 to 7,500, and then we will also fund up to 1,000 on PPE purchase between March and July for these businesses that had to purchase PPE. They can apply, but those will be actual invoices. You have to submit invoices of what you actually spent up to a max of $1,000.
And I believe that PPE includes any sort of, infrastructure bill you had to
Yeah,
make
like if you put up plexiglass or masks or hand sanitizers or any of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor?
This will be placed on our website for people to download and then drop off their applications at either the county judge's office or the commissioner's office for us to review.
Okay. So we have a motion, we have a second, and we voted 5-0 vote. Item 29, applying for and accepting the Texas State Library and Archives Mission CARES Grant Cycle 2 for $7,170. Mr. Bond?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir. How are we doing?
Morning, fine. Good morning,
And
Commissioner.
thank you so much for the great job you are doing. We've had a lot of compliments. My daughter's actually been going a lot to the library, so thank you so much on behalf of the citizens of Verde County and my family. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And I guess I should say good morning to all of you. Now, to Commissioner Wardlaw, I'd like to say buenos dias. When I first started, he told me I need to learn a little Spanish.
You're coming along, you're coming along.
Well, I could teach you some words, but you can't use them.
And I see on here David Bond, County Librarian there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a Texas phonetics spelling or something.
We'll go ahead. We're going to go ahead and leave it like that.
See.
This is going to be part of you now.
Okay.
We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, and when we will be applying for this?
I need your signature now, and I'll be applying Friday.
And you're gonna put an air purifier?
Yes.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote.
Did you all get this information?
Let me go to sign that now, so that way you won't have to help me. All right, sign it all last spot. This vice versa. Okay. Is that it? I have another one.
No, that's all.
Okay, go get ready.
For the budget.
No, you're all good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 30, approving time off for Verde County employees to vote during general election on November 3rd, 2020, in the amount of not to exceed 2 hours.
Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
I was proposing this because I think that, a lot of the concerns are about long lines for a lot of people for the contract that's gonna be, that the voters will be coming, across while trying to vote in early voting. And the time is long enough that people can schedule people to try to get off. I also want to thank Monica for helping me with the wording on that. And I'd like for her to present to the Personnel Policy Committee so that it could get into our policy manual also if it's approved by the court.
Well, one thing at a time. For this election, would the court approve this? Do I have a motion, or what do we do?
I'll make a motion to approve that. I think it's a good idea to give the employees that time to go and vote.
Okay, I'll second it. I agree with it, but I think it needs to be not mandatory. Each elected official needs to be able to make that choice.
Okay, the motion from,
I've always allowed my employees to have time to go vote.
okay, the motion from Commissioner Flores is that you allow them, or that that the elected official has the right to tell them no, or let them go or not to go. What's your motion, Commissioner?
My motion is to allow.
Okay, the second, approve that, or go with that, or?
I mean, I don't think, any, elected official is gonna oppose to that.
I don't think they are, but I don't know that I want to get in the business of dictating what they can and can't do, but that's fine. And then you're going to take this to the Personnel Policy Committee, and then we can look at it as a whole for the rest of it. All right, that's my second service.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. We met Monday, my day's wrong. I think she said, Janie, 200 mail-ins, what you were getting a day, applications or something, or what do you?
Yeah, sometimes we get 280.
A day, right?
It's running pretty, at least three days out of the week, it's running about 200.
Wow. Oh, well, that's good. Item 31, accepting bid submission of 2020-2021 defined term purchases of commodities and services for the following bids. A, fuel purchase.
Which one are we gonna do first, fuel?
Field services was done the last one. We can go down the list of this one, or you wanna go down the agenda?
It doesn't matter.
Well, let's
Let me
do
get
fuel
the
purchase, and we'll just do one at a time.
We only have one, right?
Yeah, for fuel purchases, we received one bid from Pico Propane Fuels.
Nobody else will bid this because we don't have large enough tanks.
And I believe so, and they won't come all the way from San Antonio or wherever else to.
Motion to approve.
And I believe the tanks are also Pico Propane's, the ones that we have right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you have 5,000 or 10,000 gallon tanks, you can buy bulk fuel from the other places. We'll look at that.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? 5-0 vote. Item B, janitorial services.
What was the name of the company, Judge, on the first one?
It was Pico Petroleum.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Yeah, excuse me, when you're talking to Pico, could you see what it would take to get a hold of the tank for precinct 1? We've got no fuel storage capacity.
Yes. What size tank you looking at?
Whatever they can give us.
Okay.
I think they had the 1,000, was the red one that was there, right? Is it 1,000, 1,500?
Well, the ones I have in my yard are 1,000 gallons.
Yeah.
But I have the electric pumps on them, I don't know what y'all have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because there's one there, but somebody else is using it. So.
Who would that be, Judge?
I don't know. We actually ran power to that tank, so.
You have a tank, you just don't know yet.
Yeah. Janitorial services.
Motion to approve, De La Paz.
Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, or Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, and it's De La Paz, right?
Yeah, De La Paz.
Jane, did you hear that one?
No, sir, I'm sorry.
De La Paz, is this?
I'm listening to him.
Okay.
What was the name of the company?
De La Paz.
De La Paz.
De La Paz, okay, got it.
All those in favor?
All right.
5-0 vote. Item C, uniform services.
Motion to approve UniFirst.
Second. The motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores to approve UniFirst. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Pest control services.
Motion to approve Pest Solutions, who's that?
Pest Solutions, they're,
Who do we have now?
we have, Southwest Integrity right now. And Pest Solutions came
in less.
and they're actually cheaper than what we're paying for right now.
All right, motion to approve Pest Solutions.
Pest Solutions.
Second. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Road materials, flex base, purchases.
Motion to approve all three and let the commissioners pick.
Second.
There's only two on the list,
We received 3 bids from CSA.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Mark Marietta, 90 West, and CSA. And they vary, some of them, one's cheaper at one location than the other, and if we pick one and somebody's gonna pay a little more than, I've noticed these, one will be cheaper at one location, but not at the other location.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Second.
Can I suggest something?
Let me get a second.
I second that.
Second, Commissioner Flores. Yes, sir.
For CSA, they are cheaper for all of them, except Rough Canyon, Precinct 4 Yard, and Box Canyon. Why don't we go with CSA
Well,
on
his
everything
motion
else?
was that they could pick.
Yeah.
You want to leave that?
Yeah, okay.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
I don't think, this is for crushed limestone. I don't think we spend $50,000 in crushed limestone.
I have to check on that, but no, I don't think so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item F, oil purchases.
We only received one, Alamo Asphalt, and they didn't bid on all of them. They only bid on MC30.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, because you do more chip seal.
We're just gonna have to call for pricing.
We'll just call pricing and do our regular,
Okay. Then I'll just make a motion, we don't accept anything, and we'll just do
reject all.
a as needed call. Since there was lack of interest in bidding.
You want to make a motion to reject the
Motion to
bid?
reject the one bid for the MC30. Since there's a lack of interest on the rest of them, we will do a as call needed for the
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Water services.
motion to approve DS services. They're the only ones, right?
Yes. Second. Did they, is it more than last year? Same? Who knows?
It's a little more, 8% more on the cold, 8% more on the hot, and 4% more on the side gallon.
Who we had last year?
We're with DS Water, so just charging us more.
We can't get those from like Walmart or somewhere, like, especially the bottles and stuff like that. It would be cheaper.
I think we could.
The bottles, we do anyways.
Oh, you do?
And, I think that this is just the price on the equipment and for the services of having those waters, but I mean.
Coolers.
The cooler. So this is more for the cooler part than it is the rest.
Yeah. Any motion?
I made a motion.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Second.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? 5-0 vote. Coffee services.
Motion to approve DS service. They're the only ones that bid on this
We
one.
received one bid.
Are they cheaper than what we had last year?
For coffee services, no, they're a little more expensive.
How much?
For coffee, we are looking at, for the roasted ground, I think they're about $3 more.
This is because we use their machines, right?
We already use their machines, but they do not charge for the machines.
Because I would assume, I don't know what coffee costs at Walmart, but, you know.
We can't rebid that one, right? I mean, we're stuck with the one we got in, and that's just that one bid. Since there is a price
Who has it now?
We're with the Amistad Snacks.
And they didn't bid it.
We did not receive their bid. No. On
They
time.
did it, yeah.
Yeah,
They bid it late. They were late.
yeah, now, we can reject this one, and then just not have anybody, and then we'll go for the cheaper one of what we think. But I think this is, we don't spend over $50,000 a year on coffee. This is just for a price lock. What we'd be risking is, is them changing the prices throughout the year.
Then we reject it, and then we'll go with the lowest bidder. I mean, whoever gives us a better price.
Okay.
Yeah, because some of this, you can just go to Walmart and get it, probably cheap for HEB or someplace, and you're gonna get it.
Motion
Then
to
we're stuck
reject.
buying coffee. The problem is once you reject it, they're gonna all pick up the coffee pots, and that's gonna be the end of that.
We're not drinking coffee no more.
I don't drink coffee anymore.
We have
I don't need it
pretty
with
much.
So how do we do this? He rejects it. If it passes, then how do?
You'll be buying coffee pots.
That, or we'll just go with the cheaper one. I think what we're going out for bids on this one to give everybody a fair chance. And then we have that price locked throughout the year.
How much money did we spend last year again on this coffee?
I would have to check on that.
But it was cheaper, I mean, the bid, was cheaper than what.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, do I have a second? Do I have a second on rejecting? Or what are we doing?
Well,
Huh?
I don't have a problem with rejecting, but are we gonna rebid it, or are we going to just?
We'll just make some calls, you know,
Well,
That's a better price.
that would be a rebid, right? Or how do you want to do it? What's the proper way to do it? If it's rejected.
We can go up there.
I'm laughing because we're doing from Federal Road to 1.7. We just bought 2 tractors for $700.
The majority of the coffee is purchased through K-Cups through Walmart anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't,
We can follow our normal purchasing policy, and go up to 3 quotes.
Second. Okay.
And go with the cheaper coffee.
We're gonna go up to 3 quotes. You okay with that? Okay. Commissioner Flux made a motion. Commissioner Nelson second. All those in favor? 5-0 vote.
So what happens when you make a
It
motion?
took us longer to buy coffee than to buy 2 doses.
Hey, if you care about the nickels, the dollars will take care of themselves.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got off. 32, approving the purchase of 2 satellite telephones for precinct 2 and giving county judge authority to enter service agreement for dial tone services. Price is pending and will be paid out of precinct 2 operating expense budget line item.
motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Nettleton. Yes, sir.
There's one that you missed.
All right, that's all I had on the list. Let me get through this and we'll go back.
Okay.
All those in favor? 5-0 vote, yes, sir. Let's go back to 31.
Yeah, it's actually on E. E is actually to flex and base.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about the PB rock and stuff.
Yeah, the road materials, base services.
Okay.
Will be the second one down on the Excel sheet. We had
Motion to approve Vulcan Tree.
yeah.
Second.
It's asphalt?
Yeah, that's your PB rock. and
Yeah,
paved
the grade 3
and
and
all
grade
that.
4
Yeah.
type. Okay.
The other one was crushed limestone.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 33.
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you, sir. Authorizing, Judge Owens' authority to execute the certification required by the authorized official designated by the governing body document for all e-grants.
Jesus.
I know, right? That was like all over the place.
Motion to
And I got
approve.
the wrong strength glasses. I have a motion.
That wording was a little weird.
It was, yeah. Do I have a motion?
I made a motion.
Oh, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Gus second.
Gus, I was laughing, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Good job, sir. Authorizing Sheriff Martinez to purchase a program 20.0 Lotus Edge USD upgrade to be taken out of auto expense line item in the amount of $946.69.
Motion. Second. What is this for?
This is a program upgrade to be able to, check the status on these cars when they're starting to fail or whatever. It's an upgrade. We have a program, but this is just a program upgrade.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Item 35, requiring completion by all county elected official employees who have access to the local government computer system or database of an annual cybersecurity training course and authorize county judge to sign enrollment for Valverde County.
What are we doing?
Juanita?
Judge, this is just the renewal to do the cyber training once again. TAC will be presenting that, and it will be starting next month and ending, June of 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So we need to enroll all elected officials and employees that have access.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 36, authorizing Judge Owens to sign the renewal questionnaire for January 1st, 2021 workers' compensation program
Move.
renewal. Second. Motion Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 37, Ms. Smith, do we have executive session material?
Only if you need it.
I don't need it. Do y'all need it? Do y'all have anything? Okay, executive session items, item 37, we're not going into executive session. Item 38, Commissioners' comments. Commissioners? None? County judges' comments? None? Sorry, I laughed a lot, but it was sort of funny on the topic. Either way, this meeting is adjourned, y'all have a wonderful day.